So, obviously, the Chicago Sky traded for Ariel Atkins. Ariel Atkins is a legitimate sniper. She's somebody that can shoot the ball wide open extremely well. She's a good, not a terrible pull-up three-point shooter, but a good mid-range three-point shooter, and she's been the freaking Fever's kryptonite last season. I can't remember a player, other than randomly Jewel Lloyd, those first couple of games cooking them, but I can't remember a player like as consistently the Fever having no answer for as Ariel Atkins. And in her defense, she did the same thing to the Sky. It was just her points went way down, like once the likes of Sykes and stuff came back from injury. But they've also signed another player. They have signed Alex Wilson. And Alex Wilson is a really, really interesting player. And I don't think you sign someone like Alex Wilson to cut her. And if you guys don't know, obviously Ali Wilson, look, I did not know much about her. I was looking up some of the stats, but like they signed a 30-year-old who has been a pro since 2010. She's been a pro since 16 years old, playing for the Adelaide Lightning. And are they an NBL team? Yeah, they're an NBL team, top league in Australia. She's been a pro since then. And obviously, she's representing the Australian national team. She was all WNBL first team this year. And I want to see who else was on the first team this year. Were there any like high-level players? But you just never know when it comes to this. So the first team was her, Sammy Wickham, who is a really solid WNBA player. Don't know who Courtney Woods is. Naz Hillman literally started over Cheyenne Parker-Tyus last season. And Amaher, like she played for the Dream. She played so little that I'm not entirely sure to pronounce her name. She's a player that everyone talks about having this like sky high potential. But she goes and makes the first team. So it's not like there are too many horrific players in it. Like she made the team over Jade Melbourne. And I rate Jade Melbourne so highly. Like I think and Veronica Burton. Veronica Burton's going to be a good player with Valkyries. I could not believe the Valkyries didn't take Jade Melbourne. Like I genuinely do think that that Jade Melbourne is legit. And obviously this is the first time she has made this team. But if you want to look at her just all around, just her stats on the year playing in Australia, like she's a bucket getter. That's her game. Like she averaged 15.7 points per game. But if you look at her 3-point shooting, she did only shoot 29% from the field, but she's letting it fly. She is letting it fly, and that's like she's known as a scorer. She is a scorer, and what height is she? Like knowing the way the Sky work. She's about 5'9". Like this is a weird signing if they're not gonna keep her. If you get it. Like if you get what I mean. Like the Chicago Sky are a team that they just needed scoring. That's what they need around Cardoso and Reese. Because Angel Reese and Cardoso can score. Angel Reese can do all the little things. Elizabeth Williams is an elite defender. Obviously, like how many players they have now? So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they have their full roster, and they're probably going to use their first round pick and keep their first round pick. So she's probably competing for that last roster spot with Guarantes. I don't know. Did she play at all last season? No. So she's probably competing for that roster spot with her. And again, I don't think you bring a 30-year-old rookie over from a different country just to be like an inevitable guaranteed cut. Like it would be like, and I get it, bringing in a player via a trade. How did they, did she come via trade? I have absolutely no idea. Like I had no idea she was even on the roster for the Sky. Like she's somebody that played in China this year. And how did she get to the Sky? I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea. But she's obviously, again, 5'11". How does she do in China? In China this year, she's played for the Sparks, barely shot the 3 ball, and I cannot find. I'm on Basketball Reference. I need to check out the Eurobasket profile. She's a Puerto Rican national team player, I guess, who averaged 31 points per game in the Central Basket Women's Championship. Fair enough. Fair enough. Shooting 48% from three. Okay, she's a gunner. That's not a bad thing. So either way, when it comes to the Sky, the players they're bringing in is like they are trying to bring in scoring, because like I like Beck Allen as a player. I think Beck Allen could start, and I think there's going to be a lot of lineups with like Reese at the 5, Allen at the 4, or Cardoso at the 5 and Allen at the 4. I think that's going to be a common lineup that the team uses. The only guaranteed starters for me are Reese, Cardoso. Well, the 4 guaranteed starters: Reese, Cardoso, Atkins, and Sloop. They're going to start. But you're really looking at this team, and it's like, even as presently constructed, you've got center, power forward, center, or power forward, center, and you've got like power forward in Beck Allen. So you've got all of these players that kind of, and you got Onyewere, who I think is a small forward, but I also think can play a few minutes here at the power forward if needed. Kia Nurse is more 2-3. Rachel Banham's 2-3. So I think they've got depth. They've got ability to guard. I don't rate Mariah Jefferson as a backup point guard, because I don't think the 5'6" point guard is the way to go, and we have 2 of them. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Like, if I'm the Chicago Sky, regardless of who these other guards are, I'm cutting someone and doing everything you can to bring in either Sanaya Rivers or Cheyenne Sellers. I get it. Cheyenne Sellers can shoot. Sanaya Rivers can't. Rivers is a better passer and defender. But I'm like, the way the game's going, it's like in the NBA having a 6-foot point guard backing up a 6-foot point guard. And it's like, it's just not going to work. So I think that's kind of one thing that they really need to go for in a draft, is that big guard. But it seems with the players they're signing, with Wilson, with all the players they're signing, that they're probably going to go forward in the draft. So I think they're probably banking on Anissa Morrow being there at 10. And not necessarily to play with Angel Reese and Cardoso, but to play when one of them are off, maybe. But yeah, it's a really interesting team, and I really do like the moves they've made in the offseason. Like, getting Elizabeth Williams to sign the contract that she did was huge. Like, in my opinion, she is the best backup big in the entire WNBA. Like, at 100K, you have got a starting level big who was, I'm going to say this right now, better when she played last season than Camila Cardoso. And before she got injured, she was playing better than Angel Reese. Like, again, what does she average on the season? 10 points? She was averaging 10 points, 7 boards per game on the season before she got hurt. And the Sky were so, like, her going down was the catalyst for the Sky's downfall. And then, obviously, Beck Allen is a player that, again, her going down was the catalyst of the Mercury's downfall last year. So they've got, I think that's such a good pickup. I think Ariel Atkins for the 3rd pick in a draft where there's a good chance you only really want to take 1st round pick, or say 1 1st round pick, and the player you want at 3 is probably going to be there at 10. And I like Kia Nurse because sometimes she looks unbelievable, sometimes she looks terrible, and you've got backups for her. Courtney Vandersloot's a great solid point guard who will help get the ball into your bigs. And look, we'll know this season when it comes to the Sky if the it's going to work. If the Skyscrapers duo is going to work. And because at least last season, people were like, oh, it did work. The reason why they didn't win games is because of pieces around them. There's no excuses now. I think the Sky have put elite pieces around. I think they've done a really good job pieces around them. And if the Sky's offense cannot work this season, it's time to break up Angel Reese and Cardoso. And you could probably get next season a pick that will land you with Tania Latson potentially. Like, you could get a top 3 pick next year for Cardoso if you do want to make that trade, and you could get yourself a Flaujae, a Tania Latson, and build around them. To be honest, that could work. Or you just never know. Maybe if Olivia Miles, let's just say she drops to 3 in the draft, Seattle take Malonga, and maybe you can go and get yourself an Olivia Miles if she does okay for a Cardoso. That type of trade. But if the Skyscraper is going to work, this will be the season for it. But anyway, I'll see you guys.